Yeah, I mean, they're pretty different. And it also depends what part of Europe you're in, because when you're in Italy or Germany or France, it's, again, each country is a completely different market, and the things that they enjoy are very different. I think that I've been fortunate that a lot of the DC characters have a pretty good fan base in a lot of those countries. And with a character like the Flash, I think he's become more well-known because of the TV show, and the character's a lot of fun. So it's been generally pretty positive all across the board. It's actually fairly similar. I mean, the comic action focused mostly on tabletop gaming, so that part was a little bit different. But in terms of the fans, I think it translates across the border. It's fairly similar in terms of the people that read the books and stuff like that. I wouldn't say that there's too much of a divide. I mean, the commonality is that they're all interested in these same characters. So I think in terms of my experience with the fans and stuff, it was pretty similar, I would say. It was great. It's really busy. The guys at Panini they run a really nice table, and the fans are really great. So I had an awesome time. How it came about actually is I'm a big fan of Will Eisner. And I was doing a short story with the Spirit, and I started working on those pages, and there was no deadline on that book, and it was one of those things where I could take my time and do whatever I wanted. But then the book got canceled. So around that time that I was working on that, I was about to begin The Flash. So I thought, as an homage, I would do it for the first issue of The Flash. Sort of, because I never got to do the Spirit, so I was going to incorporate the introduction into the Flash. And from there, actually, after the first issue of the DC Comics, if you notice, all the other titles, it used to say DC Comics proudly presents title. But that was only supposed to stay for the first issue for all the books, and after that, all the books were supposed to drop it. But editorial really liked what I did, so they said, hey, you know, do you want to try to do it for the first arc? And for your book, we'll keep the part that says DC Comics proudly presents. So it went from the first arc to, I just kept doing it. You know, it wasn't an editorial thing, it was just something that I wanted to do as a fan of Will, and it just kept going, and people really reacted positively to it, so we just kept doing it. I think you have a lot more people that didn't read comics coming in and checking stuff out. I wish there were more, because, you know, these are the source material that these shows came from. But it's interesting to see people now that will commonly wear Batman or Superman t-shirts, whereas before, when people wore them, it's because you read the book. And now everybody wears them. So even if they don't read the book, that's fine, but I think it's great that it brings awareness to those characters, and hopefully they'll check out the comics.